Hello and welcome. Today, we're going to take a deep dive into how SAP HANA is completely changing the game for analytical processing. We'll look at the massive shift in data modeling, check out the advanced analytical engines it opens up, and see how it all connects back to the BI tools you're probably using every single day. All right, let's get into it. So, to really get what SAP HANA does for analytics, we first have to wrap our heads around the huge paradigm shift it represents. You see, it's not just about being faster. It's about a fundamentally different and, frankly, much smarter way of working with data. Okay, this slide really shows what we mean by the push-down process. In the old world, applications had to pull enormous amounts of raw data out of the database. All the heavy lifting, all the calculations happened in the application layer. And that, as you can imagine, created a massive data transfer bottleneck. SAP HANA just flips this entire model on its head. It does all the complex calculations and aggregations right there in the database, right next to the data. Then it only sends the final, much smaller, result back to the application. So what's the bottom line? Your application code gets way simpler and performance gets a huge, huge boost. So that's the what and the why. But how does SAP HANA actually pull off this push-down magic? Well, the answer is a really powerful modeling tool that sits at the very heart of its architecture. And this is it, the calculation view. Just think of it as a virtual data model that you build directly inside SAP HANA. So instead of writing all this complex code in your application to join tables and filter data and do calculations, you build that logic just once inside a calculation view. It's totally reusable, it's incredibly efficient, and it is the absolute core component for pushing all those data-heavy tasks down from the app into the database where they belong. Now, there are basically two main flavors of these calculation views. First up, you've got the dimension type. This is what you use for modeling your master data. Groups of related attributes like customer details or product info. The key thing to remember is they don't have any measures, no numbers to crunch. The second type is the cube. This one is designed for your transactional data. This is where you bring together your attributes with your measures, the actual numbers like sales amount or quantity that you want to analyze. And that brings us to the most powerful and common way to use these, the cube with star schema. This kind of view takes a central cube of your transactional data, your facts, and joins it to multiple dimension views. What you get is a classic star schema that is just incredibly powerful and flexible. It lets your business users slice, dice, and drill down into the data from pretty much any angle they can think of. It's what enables true ad hoc analysis. Okay, so with this new power to model right inside the database, we can go way beyond just traditional reporting. SAP HANA isn't just a database. It's a full-blown platform with a whole suite of built-in advanced analytical engines. Yep. SAP HANA comes loaded with 4 key advanced engines that let you tackle entirely new types of data and ask completely new questions. We're talking about text analytics, spatial processing, predictive analysis, and graph processing, and they all run natively, right inside the same platform. Let's kick things off with text analytics. This engine is amazing. It can chew through massive amounts of unstructured text. Think social media feeds, customer reviews, support tickets. It intelligently pulls out structured information like names, places, key topics, and even sentiment. It turns a flood of messy, raw text into valuable, actionable insights. Next up is spatial processing. This adds that crucial where dimension to all your data. By mixing your business data with geographic information, you can start analyzing spatial relationships. You can ask questions like, hey, which customers are within 5 miles of our new store? Or, what's the absolute most efficient delivery route? It just adds this whole other layer of insight. Then we've got predictive analysis. SAP HANA has something called the Predictive Analysis Library, or PAL, which is a library of over 90 built-in machine learning algorithms. This lets you do things like forecasting, clustering, and classification right on your data. And this is the key, without having to move it to a separate system. You can build models to predict what's going to happen next right where your data lives. And finally, there's graph processing. This is specifically designed for analyzing highly connected data. Think of a super complex supply chain or a social network or even a bill of materials. The graph engine helps you understand all the intricate relationships and pathways between different things, uncovering patterns that are practically impossible to see in a regular old table. So we have these incredibly powerful data models and advanced analytics running right inside SAP HANA. That's great, but how do business users actually get their hands on it and visualize these insights? Well, that's where connectivity comes in. SAP HANA connects seamlessly with a whole range of business intelligence tools. This includes modern cloud platforms like SAP Analytics Cloud for creating dynamic dashboards, but also the established SAP Business Object Suite. And within that suite, you've got popular tools like Web Intelligence for self-service reporting, Crystal Reports for those pixel-perfect enterprise reports, and even Live Office for really tight integration with Microsoft products. And the really cool thing is, the connectivity isn't just limited to SAP tools. Because SAP HANA supports industry-standard protocols like ODBC and JDBC, and query languages like SQL and MDX, it can connect to pretty much any third-party reporting or data visualization tool out there. This gives you a ton of compatibility and flexibility in your analytics landscape. When you boil it all down, the key takeaway is really this. SAP HANA gets rid of the silos that used to exist between different analytical jobs. It's not just a database for transactions over here and a separate one for reporting over there. It is a single, unified platform that handles everything, from standard BI to the most advanced text, spatial, and predictive analytics, all in real time, all in one copy of the data. And that really brings us to a final, powerful question. When you get rid of the delay and the complexity of moving data between different systems, and you have transactions, standard reporting, and advanced analytics all running together on one platform, what new, previously impossible questions will your business finally be able to answer?